He's a personality. He's a person that people like to be around. He has the ability to teach and correct, through humor sometimes. So people are disarmed right away, and they listen to him because they don't feel like it's a personal attack. So he brings a leadership style, a veteran experience that he's easily, he can share, and people listen, and because of who he is as a person.
Does it not feel like a personal attack because he's self-deprecating?
Say it again, I'm sorry.
Does it not feel like a personal attack because he's a little self-deprecating this year?
Yeah, I think if you can laugh at yourself, right? Then you can typically go at other people and they don't feel, like you're attacking them because you're not above it. And they know, they can go at him, and he doesn't take it personally either. So, but that's, getting to know him, that's his personality on the court and off the court.
At this point of camp, how much scrimmaging are you doing versus drilling?
I would say a lot of both. Mostly, obviously yesterday with the one session, we did quite a bit of scrimmaging. Practice was longer, so we did, about half drills and half scrimmages. The mornings are more drills, so this morning was a lot of just cleanup, attention to detail, and then tonight, will be a lot more live and scrimmaging action.
Are you going harder with the guys than you did at this point last year?
I don't know. They complained it was hard last year. So, we're getting after it, and it's it's with intent and purpose. We want to make this difficult. We want to put ourselves not only physically but mentally in a conditioning space that gives us an advantage. So if we know we can go through difficult things, when it happens in games or whenever it may be, we've already been tested. So that's kind of the plan of now and continuing that through the season.
Yesterday you spoke really highly of Ty Jerome, and nobody knows what's going to happen when it comes to Ricky. But Ty, during his career, has never been a full-time backup point guard. He's always been a third guard. Do you believe that he's ready to become a backup point guard?
Yeah, Ty is a really good basketball player. And he understands how to run a team. He understands and has empathy for his teammates on the floor. He knows the importance of the small things and does a great job communicating, getting guys in spots and putting them in the right places on both ends of the floor. Like I said yesterday, it will be hard to keep Ty off the floor.
There was a lot of things that you asked of Karis last year. He talked about on media that his role is going to be a little bit more defined, probably. So, how do you envision that role being, and how do you feel like he's going to respond to that?
I think he'll respond the same way he always does and go after it. He is such a weapon, but I think what we've seen Karis, is he's a versatile player that can do a lot of different things. He's a basketball player. I think early on he was labeled as a scorer, and he has the ability to score the basketball, but he's a really good playmaker. He can play the pick and roll and make all the reads. He can cut and make things happen off the ball. You saw last year he was a high-level spot shooter. So there's not a lot of things offensively that he can't do. And then defensively, you saw him guard the other team's best players on given night. So we want Karis to be the best version of himself. And again, the minutes and the rotations and all that things, because of our depth, we feel like we can put a lot of quality lineups on the floor. But Karis is one of those guys that's going to play and he's going to help us a lot.
How much of the first few weeks of this practicing and into training camp show you and highlight the value of the things that these guys have done in their individual off seasons?
It's the best part about our group is even their individual work is aimed at helping the team become better, right? We don't have guys who go and just work on dribble because it looks good and it might get them a shot. We have guys that have gone away through the summer, figured out what they did last year and how that could, what teams did defensively, how they guarded them, and then now how can I be better at that to make my team better and make my teammates better. So, this is a great chance. Guys typically don't play a lot of defense over the summer, but this is a great chance for guys to come back against, in practice. The opponent is actually defending, and defending them in certain ways. And so you can see what they've worked on and see if they're able to make the right read or make the right decision versus however the defense is playing.
You had mentioned depth. Do you have an idea or a number in your head of how deep you're willing to go bench-wise this year?
I mean, I think as we go through the season, everybody's going to get a look because that's just what happens in the NBA season. We could easily go 11 deep. I think what you do is, and you look around at teams that have kind of done that, is certain guys may find 3 or 4 game blocks. If they keep it rolling, they keep going, and then you rotate because you're going to need guys throughout the season. But I'm really comfortable, with the entirety of our roster, and everybody on this roster can help us in some way.
In saying that, you've been pretty consistent in saying that you're most comfortable with a 9 or 10-man rotation. So are you now ready to change that to 11?
I mean, the 11th guy, will find his minutes throughout the bulk of the season, right? It's difficult to get to 11 guys of consistency in a 48-minute game. But, that 10th man can rotate between whoever that 11, 12, 10 guy is. And I think that's where that guy will find his minutes.
Going back to Ty, when you guys finally signed him, did you have any flashbacks to when him and Golden
He busted
State?
our ass. Yeah, he busted our ass completely. And that was the first thing that came to mind. Yeah.
All right, that was the last question. Thank you.
Thank y'all. Have a good one.